Good morning, all of you. So today we'll discuss the again the mixed concept, means different types of rigid body, they're suspended, released, all this, and we'll see some torque due to friction also. Till now, what's happened? We just noticed the torque due to tension, other things. So exclusively torque due to friction. Then we'll focus on the uh, work done or the power involved in the rotation of an object. Rotation can already we know. So let's go for power also. So how to express the power when a body is rotating that one. So these things is what I'm going to stress it here. I think I just picked up some almost 17 questions. I need lot of time. So I'll just discuss the idea. Remaining solving, you're supposed to work out. Okay, read the question on the screen. The moment of inertia of solid cone about an axis passing through vertex and parallel to diameter. So how is the parallel to diameter? So what is the diameter? There's a diameter, no? So this is what the axis. Huh? This axis. So he's asking now the moment of inertia about this axis, say like a y dash. This has to be determined. What are other things given? Height h. Radius are not given. If you want, you can assume it. No problem. So these are the things available. Okay, let's get into the calculation part. I'll draw a bigger diagram. So basically, you must know moment of inertia for most of the rigid bodies. Solid cone we didn't discuss. Just I took one problem. Then I'll discuss one numerical related to this also. This is the axis about which is asking us to determine it. How to calculate this? So what is the best thing we can assume? This one, I'll assume a strip. Let this be the y. Radius of this be y. Let it be at x, and let this be distance dx. This is r. First, we'll find out moment of inertia of this. What is that strip? Can you give any name for that strip? It's a thin disc, no? We are supposed to calculate about y dash. So there's a thin disc, that one. What is the mass? Overall, it's a solid cone. He has given density. What is the volume of cone? Density equal to mass by pi r square h by 3, or 3m by pi r square h. The density of the cone. So what is the mass of this small elemental thin disk? dm should be equal to rho into pi y square into dx. No, it should be. Thickness is how much? Dx. Dx is very small. Y is the radius. So rho pi y square. So the value of rho, we know it. That later on we are going to substitute here. Now then, what is the relation between y and x? So you take help of tan theta. Tan theta will be y by x equal to r by h. So where all r is there, so that I'm going to replace here. Now altogether y we know r x by h. I'll differentiate this dy equal to r by h into dx. So in place of dx, now I can replace this one. In place of dx, I can replace this one. Now, first, what is the in place of dm, I can write it. So now what is our next part of calculation? dm is equal to dm, after substituting this, rho pi y square r h h by r into dy. This is the value of dm. Now, okay, fine. But how to get the moment of inertia? You didn't ask to get all these things, no? That is asking moment of inertia. So first what happened, I'll find out the moment of inertia of this thin disk about axis y dash using Parallax's theorem. Then I'll integrate and get the total moment of inertia. So what should be the di y dash should be equal to first about its parallel axis. So dm y square by 4. Will I agree? About any diameter mr square by 4. So what is the radius of that y square mass is dm and this is 4. Plus at what distance that thin disk we assumed? At a distance x square. So now you can replace that x using this formula. Integrate this, you'll get the required answer. So are you able to understand this one? So how to calculate the dm? There's a method. Then what should be the limit? 0 to capital H, because this is x equal to 0. This is x equal to h. Just mathematics, nothing to do that one. Sir, so this what should be the limit now? So here only I'll put the limit total. And this should be 0 to h. So instead of solid cone, he may ask you square pyramid. Then you are going to assume a thin square plate. That the same ideas is what you are going to implement here. Such a cone, do calculation, answer will be 7. Answer will be 7. You can, is asking the value of the eta there. There is a 7 will come. And now about x-axis, what to do? About x-axis. Again, the same formula. You already know dm. So about x dash, if I ask you to determine, so what you are going to do here now? X dash, about horizontal axis passing through the center of the cone. Then we know what is the moment of inertia of this. Di is equal to, no need of Parallax's theorem, no, directly there. So di, here only will finish off this so that it be easy for you. This should be equal to how much? dm y square by 2. Now what should be the limit again? 0 to h. Are you able to understand? I am just trying to wind up both ideas in one problem. This is about axis of cone. You should be very good enough in this math-based problem. No concept, nothing is there. Just you have to apply the mathematics in a systematic way. And then such a cone, say how the application questions will be there. The cone, they'll take it and they will release. Find the linear velocity of a point like a O when the axis of cone becomes vertical. So how much of linear velocity it will have? So it will have angular velocity omega, then h. So then what is the equation you can write it? There's a solid cone of height h of mass m. Tell me, like, I want the velocity of point O. So what is the method here? Decrease in gravitational potential. Where the center of mass of solid cone will come? H by 4 from the bottom. So how much of center of mass will descend? 3h by 4. So decrease in potential energy mg 3h by 4 should be equal to, call this as point P. High P omega square by 2. Just now what I discussed the problem, no, that IP is going to help you like. So in exams, what will happen? Students will think some new concept is there. So what is the basic requirement? You must know how to get the moment of inertia of the standard rigid bodies about any axis. Until this, if you don't know that, I think not possible, no? So what we have got it, no? So this has to be now taken help in this to solve such problems. So best thing is like a rod. So from rod, what means you should migrate to the different conditions here. Okay, let me proceed with the next idea. There is a square plate. I'll make a hole here. Now what is this? This is a hole. This is a square plate of side length L and having a density sigma. Then what is the moment of inertia about z axis passing through origin? IOZ has to be determined here. This is a hole. Then what should be the approach? Again, in the center of mass, we have brought it. No, first we'll calculate the moment of inertia of square plate, then of that of the circular disc, then we'll subtract. We'll get the required answer. So what is the total moment of inertia IOZ? This IOZ should be equal to moment of inertia IOZ, IZ about, so IOZ only let me write, of the plate plus moment of inertia about axis passing through and perpendicular to plane of that of the hole. What is the basic assumption what we have to do? So this is like plate. This is point O. We'll have a mass M, side length L, positive density. What about this? This is a hole of radius R, negative density, mass will be M2. And it will be at a certain distance. It will be say like about this point O. Not O is not center of the hole. O is this one. Z axis passing or about origin. What is the axis? Axis passing through origin and perpendicular to plane. High OZ is what I wrote here. Find MI of plate with hole about Z axis. Okay, fine. This is a question. How to calculate the mass M1? Mass M1 is sigma into L square. What about mass M2? Sigma into pi R square. It should be negative, no? Why negative? Because when you keep that negative density material, positive density, negative density will cancel out and we'll get a plate with a hole. Now, what should be the formula now? How we have to write this? That of the plate, it should be equal to m1 L square by 6 plus m1 into at what distance the center of mass will be at a distance L by 2 whole square. From where this is brought? From where this is brought? Parallax theorem. Moment of inertia about axis passing through O perpendicular to plane for this plate, this one. Moment of inertia about axis passing through center of mass m1 L square by 6 plus m1 into L by 2 whole square. Okay, now come for the plate one. Now for the hole, what is the parallax theorem? First, about axis passing through its center of the hole. How much it should be? M2 r square by 2. It's a disk, no? It will become plus m2 into. What can be the distance? At what distance the center of mass of the hole from the origin? 2L minus R. Solve this, you'll get the required answer. So, but what you have to do? You have to substitute M2 with negative sign. That you should not forget here. There you'll go wrong. So that M2 should be substituted with negative sign. I'll show this. This is something very important. So for your convenient, I'll write plus and that will be negative sign. Please do notice the signs. So in place of all what you have to bring this idea. So this whole now I can bring in sphere, I can bring in cone here also what level. I can bring some a spherical cavity here. Then as usual moment of inertia of cone, in that you should subtract moment of inertia of this spherical cavity about this axis. And this is a very popular, you feel this very easy, but in exams in one of the year, 7 cavity problems. Cavity problems already you've seen center of mass, that one. Almost in 7 chapters in physics it will come, and there was 7 different chapter questions were there in one question paper in 1 year. So even if a student learns in any one chapter, I think I can manage in all other chapters. That's advantage. So don't neglect anything. So don't bother easy, tough. Is it a good concept is there or not? If you're able to solve, not easy. Good concept is involved or not, that you have to focus here. Okay, this is about the this one. So we'll focus on other set of numericals. Okay, no. Read the question. I'll magnify a little bit. Yeah, now read it properly. Some 4 5 problems are in Pathfinder. Very good to the level which you can easily understand. I just picked up few of them. Draw the diagram. Draw the diagram. Don't say anything. First, you draw the diagram. The disk is there. No, show that disk first. And then you go for how to get that acceleration. So it is given angular velocity. I'll assume let me assume a strip. Circular strip, I'll assume it. Some rough diagram, not at the middle. Try to see this. I assumed a strip. Then, uh, so what is the width of the strip? Let it be dr. Okay, what is the width of this? Let it be dr, and the radius of this particular ring, let it be r. Let me assume 4 elements. So how do I come to know? There's a circular strip, in that I'm assuming 4 elements here. So let this subtend an angle. This is theta. This will be theta. This will be theta. What is this radius is r. Till is radius is r. This will be dr. Now I'm interested in this particular strip here. How is the angular velocity? Let me show that omega not here. So let this be dl. You write it. So this, let me shade this particular strip. So like this here. Again in the strip, I'll assume an elemental like this here. Now how the velocity of this element will be like this. What about element? What is the linear velocity of this element? Like this. Linear velocity of this will be like this. So linear velocity of this element will be like this. This will be the linear velocity. How the friction force will act on this element? On the right hand side, I'll call that as df1. Just show opposite to the velocity here, because friction should oppose the relative motion, no? Yeah, fine. Okay, I think no, almost. This is a basic assumption. So like this, you assume df1 that one. So first, what is that small element? We assume that the element is like this. Huh? The strip, this is dl, this is r, this is d theta, this distance is r. What is the mass of this strip should be? Let it be dm. Again, this strip is elemental strip, like a thin ring of radius r width dr. I'm calling circular. In that circular strip, I'm assuming 4 again elemental strips. Fine. So now first we'll define it. What is the sigma we can define? M by pi r square. Then we can define the mass of this. So what is the mass of this? Dm equal to sigma into dl into dr. Now how to calculate the, is asking acceleration of center of the disk immediately. Is asking that acceleration of the disk. Okay, now let's come to the forces. So I know how to find out the df. Now what is df1? Mu dm. What is df1? Mu dm. What is df2? Mu dmg. Is that okay? So what is this frictional force? df1 should be equal to mu dmg. What is df2? Mu dmg. Let's get into thing now. How the forces will act here? You resolve this force, df1 cos theta. You resolve this force, df1 sine theta, df1 cos theta. Here also df1 cos theta, df1 sine theta. So horizontal components of this particular strip will get eliminated. So how much of horizontal force will act on this arc, this quarter circular arc? Equal and opposite will act on this quarter circular arc. Similarly, same thing here. df2 cos theta will act vertically down for this quarter circular. df2 cos theta for this will be acting downward. So the cos components will get added up, sine components will get eliminated. You see that when you resolve it. df2 sine theta and df2 sine theta. So is it okay now? So now the vertical components will get added up, horizontal components will get nullified when I take these two elements here. So let's get into the picture now. How to get that acceleration is what is asking. So I just took on these four elements. So what is the resultant force now? So dF net should be equal to 2 dF1 cos theta minus 2 dF2 cos theta. Sir, why you are writing negative sign? The resultant of this, say like a vertical component, df1 cos theta, df1 cos theta will be along positive axis. df2 cos theta, df2 cos will be along negative axis. The difference will come. Horizontal components will get cancelled out. It will be this much here. So then we'll substitute the values. 2 into mu dmg cos theta. Mu 1 it is, no? 2 into mu 2 dmg cos theta. So I think everything this will become mu1 minus mu2 dmg cos theta. What is dm? Mu1 minus mu2. dm is sigma dl into dr cos theta. Let's get into next part of simplification. What is dl? We can write it as r d theta. Arc length, dl should be called r d theta, as dr is very small. So this will become r d theta. This is dr cos theta. Mu1 minus mu2 sigma r dr cos theta d theta. Can we integrate? Yes, we can integrate. So how to get the net force? So this limit you put 0 to capital R. Then this limit 0 to pi. This called a surface integral. We can do like this also. One of the problem I just picked up. Then simplification of this will be mu1 minus mu2 sigma. This will be r square by 2. Integral of cos theta will be sin theta 0 to pi by 2. G, I think it got missed here. So substituting this, and so I think next this sin theta, this will get eliminated. So this will become 1. So finally sigma is pi r square by 2. So we'll get the total acceleration ma is equal to mu1 minus mu2. G sigma is m by pi r square. That's what we assumed it. So r square by 2. Solve it, you'll get the acceleration. And this acceleration in what direction? Everything substitute, you'll get this one. In what direction this acceleration should be? I'll write it answer here. You do calculation later on. Huh? In what direction acceleration? Okay, we got answer. What direction that acceleration? Along y-axis, no? Positive y-axis. G cap. Check it. Because mu1 is greater than mu2, no? And this particular force in what direction, this df net on these 4 elemental strips in what direction will be directed? Along y-axis here. So the resultant acceleration will be along positive y-axis. At that instant only. So here the assumption of that elements is very important. Here is what the students will go wrong. That's why you'll end up with some different random answers here. I'll scroll down. So what about torque? Like is not, it didn't show interest in asking torque. Okay, let's go for torque also. I'll give a little bit easier, simplified one. Read the question now. So we'll discuss about now the torque also. Torque due to this friction. Okay, there's a circular disc is there. A thin disk of mass m and radius r is kept on rough surface and given angular velocity omega naught about an axis passing through its center and perpendicular to plane. Find the time taken by the disk to come to rest. I think this is quite very familiar thing which you know it. You take any some square plate, anything. I took circular disc and just spin it on a horizontal table and release it. It will spin for certain time and come to rest. No? What made it to come to rest? The friction is asking the time taken. So how to bring that time taken from here? How that friction will act? How the torque is set up? There's a very fundamental thing which a student must know. Okay, let's get into the. I need some space here. I'll adjust here. Huh? Try it. Meanwhile, I'll just search for some space here. Yeah. This is about the rough diagram which I just gave. If you are unable to imagine anything, you can take help of this another diagram. Let's get into the question now. So let's get into the bottom of the disk. We'll just make a notice of that. The disk is given angular velocity omega naught, and let me assume a circular strip. Yeah, fine. Yeah. So of radius r, thickness dr. This is of radius capital R. If you are getting confusion, small, let me write x. Then how the friction should act on this? At every point, the friction should act tangentially, no? At every point, not at one point, where the friction will be acting at all points on the disk. So let me just choose some reference point here. So on this element, how the linear velocity of this element will be v like this. Then how the friction will act? Friction will act in this direction. So let me take that as df. So this df is acting on one element like this at all points when I get it. No? So that will act tangentially. The friction acting, the resultant friction acting on this elemental ring, I'm just showing that as df, not on one element. Not on one element. It is on the elemental ring is what I'm showing that one. So what is the mass of this elemental ring? dm. I think we can easily calculate, no? So we know sigma m by pi r square. So what is the mass of this? dm should be equal to sigma into 2 pi x dx. Area of this strip, already you know enough. So enough in center of mass everywhere it came, or even in moment of inertia also we discussed this. Area of this particular circular strip is sigma into 2 pi x dx. Then what is the df value? Df value should be equal to mu into dm into g. Substituting this mu 2 pi x dx into g. This will set up a torque, no? So that is d tau equal to df into r. Df is okay, df into x. Mu 2 pi x dx g into x. So what is the total? This one 2 pi mu g x square dx. So let me go for integration now. Talk about point 2. It's telling axis here. It's a fixed axis rotation. It is not permitted to move like previous problem. Some of you are asking this. I'll make axis fixed here. Means the disk is not permitted to have a translative motion. Only it can rotate, and due to retardation come to rest. Shall I put fixed axis? 2 pi mu g x square dx. So what should be the limit now? 0 to capital R. So 2 pi, this should be tau naught. So tau naught should be equal to 2 pi mu g r cube by 3. This is a net torque acting. How do this torque will act? This torque will act in this direction, opposite to angular velocity. So the resultant torque will be acting like this. So it will undergo retardation. Now look at this torque. Is it constant or variable? Let's calculate angular acceleration. Let's get into sigma is missing. Oh, where is sigma? Sigma should come. Yeah, yes, one sigma should be there. 2 pi mu sigma. Is it okay now? Fine. After this, 2 pi mu sigma g r cube by 3. What is the moment of inertia of the disk? M r square by 2 into alpha O should be equal to 2 pi mu sigma g r cube by 3. So what is alpha naught? Alpha naught is equal to 4 pi mu sigma g r by 3m. Sigma further you can write as m by pi r square, because sigma is what we assumed it. 4 pi mu sigma is m by pi r square gr by 3m. So what is the final answer? I think pi will also get cancelled. 4 mu g 3r. How to get the time taken? 0 equal to omega naught minus alpha naught into t, no? After this time, we'll come to Resha. Very important. At many other chapters, this idea like this, the torque due to friction, we are going to take into consideration. I'll scroll down. They may ask you angular acceleration or different ways of just asking few fundamentals. I don't think so. This is something very big here. Just substitute here 4 mu g 3r here. You'll get the t, no? This will be the answer. Substitute alpha naught here. That will be the answer. Okay, now read this question. Read the question. There's a rod is there, string is there, and particle. I'm testing again your circular motion concept. I'll give you 3 minutes time. Please do analyze such numericals. Actually, no big idea. Some multiple ideas are there. That much is what I can give a hint. There's a rod. So there's a string. Both are of same mass. Length is L and this is L. Length of the string is also here L. I think this much is what is given. And this is given linear velocity V naught. Immediately what will happen? The moment you give velocity, what will this particle, this particular particle wants to move horizontal, and the string open will not permit. The string will become taut, so a tension will act, and this tension will also act on the rod. Very next moment, what happen? A tension is set up, and this tension act. This tension, what it does, it will accelerate because the force is acting no. So this will accelerate the rod, called AC, center of mass. At the same time, it will also set up a torque, alpha C, and then look at this rod now. It's having both linear acceleration as also angular acceleration. So what is the acceleration of point A? Acceleration of point A should be AC plus L alpha C. Then look at this particular particle now. It's going to describe now the motion about point A. No, it is hinged about point A, and point A is accelerating. What is the acceleration of point A? Acceleration of point A is like this here. Or we'll show it here. Just minute observation you have to make it. Nothing is there. This is the acceleration of point A. So now we are describing some sort of motion of this particle about point A. They'll be better, no? Here. So therefore, I'll apply pseudo force. So in pseudo force, in what direction should be? In this direction. Why I should take pseudo force upward? Because point acceleration of point A is towards the particle, no? So the pseudo force will act here. Now I think now you can write all the possible equations. This much is what you have to analyze. Nothing is there. First, what are the questions that are asked? So first we'll write T is equal to MAC on the rod. At the same time, it will also set up a torque. T into L is equal to ML square by 2L into alpha C. This is the thing. Then this is for the rod. For the particle, what is the equation you can write? T into pseudo force. This should be equal to M V naught square by L. Solving these two, we'll get all the unknown things. Oh, problem is over. Just after. So why you are thinking like this? Look at, I think if you didn't observe this, I think big headache again. It's asking just after at that instant only. The moment I give velocity, then we are discussing problem. After some time, things will be a little bit because this point will come here, this will be here. The particle will, it will not be perfect like a path where we can write mathematical equations. Okay, solve this, you can match these options. C and D will come. I'll go for next one. I'll scroll down. Objective questions, you have to be very careful. Finally, the advanced exams. Option C and D. Solve it. What is there in that one? Solve it. Just only three equations, three unknowns. No, no. Come for this. A light rigid pipe. Inside that, two balls are there. Draw the diagram. So without drawing diagram, by seeing, highly impossible. So there's a string. The pipe will is telling pipe. I think by this time pipe. Okay, since to understand the diagram now, I'm showing of diameter of pipe little bit more so that I can show all the forces that are acting very clearly. There's a string connected here. One ball is there at a distance L by 3. So look at that one. One is at a distance L by 3. Another is at a distance 2L by 3. And the mass of the particles. Same thing, like can you remember yesterday we have discussed some concepts related to this, no? String is cut, and when string is cut, what conditions will arise? Yesterday we have discussed some very basic fundamental concepts that has to be applied here. This was the situation. So this will be L by 3, L by 3. So let me take this is a point A, this is a string. So initially there will be tension in both the strings. Tension will be same in both the strings or different. I think that the problem has to start here. First initial diagram you go for it. What will be the tension in both the strings initially? Should be same or different? If you say same, I think there is a big problem. You have to go back to again last week. You have to go back to again 2 weeks back. The tensions will be different here. So this tension will be TA dash. So on what basis you will say like this? Because the mass of the balls are not equal, no? So the net torque about any point should be 0. So you check that, apply the torque about A and B. This is a point A, this is a B, no? About this point you apply torque. Calculate the tension TB dash. You are about this point you apply the torque. Calculate the tension. It will be different. So first let me check that one. So TA dash. So this will be TA dash into L will be anti-clockwise. will be clockwise due to weight mg into 2L by 3. This will be anti-clockwise. 2mg L by 3 anti-clockwise equal to 0. Solving this, we'll get the TA dash is 4mg by 3. You calculate TB dash. How to calculate TB dash? You apply torque about point T. The tensions will be different. And the TA dash plus TB dash is what? Balancing 3mg. Or why till there? Check it. Definitely the answers will be different. No? So TA dash is not equal to TB dash. Okay, anyway, it's a, just a idea is needed like this. I'm going to cut this particular string. Barking of dog disturbing her? Anybody? Reply back?
No, sir.
No problem, sir.
No problem. If you want, I have to go outside and send it and come back. Okay, now let's get into problem. I'm going to cut the string B. And this was the situation. Now he's asking how many times the tension force in the thread A change immediately after the thread B is cut. Thread or string? It's left to you. I'll write thread one. Just one. You try. Send somebody to. No, what point rod the balls plus pipe will rotate? Okay, for that what happened? We needed the forces that are acting, you know. So how the force on this ball call N1 and on the pipe N1 will be like this. The force here N2 and on the pipe N2 like this. And the weight of the ball. Mg, the weight of the ball, 2mg. Look at this, sir, why you are showing the force on the ball upward? Because the balls will be in contact with the lower edge, not on the upper edge. So how do you can see? Because the moment you cut the string B, so what will happen to the pipe plus come balls? We'll try to swing, no? We'll try to swing. And what is the state of pipe? Pipe is massless. This is something very important. So therefore, about what point the pipe plus ball will rotate? I'll say A. Then definitely everyone should say, sir, how it is possible? Yesterday you said that it will not rotate about A. Look at pipe. So first, what are the comments? I'll write balls will be in contact with lower surface of pipe. No, as the pipe is massless, so the net force on the pipe should be 0. This is the one basic condition. Will I agree this? The net force on the pipe should be 0. Because also net acceleration of the pipe should be 0. Acceleration of the pipe, linear acceleration of the pipe should be there. Any reason for that? Because pipe is massless. Then a tension is set up in the string. Let me call that as TA. The pipe. So one very important idea of this problem is the pipe along with the balls will rotate about point A. Now you have to. So previous problem, you said it will rotate about center of mass. Now you are telling it to rotate about point A. To get answer, what we should think like this, or there should be any reason? See, pipe is, if the pipe were having mass, no, it will rotate about center of mass of the system. Since pipe is massless, the net force on the pipe is zero. So therefore, linear acceleration of the pipe is zero. So therefore, the system is having just only, it's having a rotation motion here. So rotation motion means it rotate about A. Previous problem, what we discussed earlier, no, the same rod, string is cut. There at that moment, it was having both translatory, rotatory. So it's still justified, and the string should be taut and inextensible. As if it rotates about A, since there is no acceleration of the pipe, so therefore what happened to string? String will remain, the thread will be taut and inextensible. There won't be problem. So therefore the whole system, this will rotate about this one, about point A. Are you getting the idea? Only rotation motion, better you can say here. But sir, mass of the balls are there. What should be the net force on the pipe? As it is massless, no? F net should be equal to M into A. Mass is zero. If M zero, then what does it mean? F is zero. If M and F zero, how A will be non-zero? Not possible. Look at only Piper. I just picked up this problem specifically to stress, because so like you can't just say that that problem you did, sir, so that I'll do this problem. You should analyze the situation here. Mass of the pipe zero. Therefore, if M zero, then what happen? F should be zero. So definitely what happen? No question of any linear acceleration. Since the pipe is not having any linear acceleration, or not having any translated acceleration the moment string is cut, so it will have only rotating motion. Only rotating motion, no problem. The string will be taut and inextensible and no condition for that. And there's no any conditions on it. Okay, I think it's, there's a basic idea of this one. I'll go for torque one, N into L by 3. This distance is, this should be the clockwise, N2 into 2L by 3. This should be equal to moment of inertia ml square.
Sir, the distance between the two balls will be L by 3, sir.
Yeah, 2 is there. Yeah. Now, from where this torque is brought, torque acting on the system, N1 into L by 3, N2 into 2L by 3 should be equal to, again, the total moment of inertia of the system here. This is the due to rotation motion. So if I solve it, I'll get equation N1 plus N2 is equal to 3ml alpha. Call this equation 1. And then afterwards we'll go for, what about the balls? The balls will have mg minus n1 equal to ma1. So what is a1? A1 should be equal to L by 3 alpha. So mg minus n1 equal to m L by 3 alpha. Call equation 2. Similarly, 2mg minus n2 equal to 2ma2. A2 is how much? 2L by 3 alpha. Okay, so I think there's equation 3. 2 and 3, I'll substitute in 1. I'll get expression for alpha. After getting alpha, I'll get n1 and n2. I'll write down, I did a calculation, so finally I'll end up this. N2 equal to 8 mg by 9. Okay, after getting this, so what is the pipe? Pipe is a light, so net force on the pipe should be 0 as the pipe is light. as it is light or massless. So therefore, Ta minus N1 minus N2 should be equal to 0. Okay, now we know N1 and N2 will get Ta, then we know Ta dash, then what you should do, take the difference. This will be your answer. You check calculation later on. Now again your task. Sir, what are these? From where you brought this? You said it will not have any linear acceleration, no translatory motion. But again you wrote acceleration equation. Again you wrote acceleration equation. How to justify this set of equations? See, like here in rotating motion, what will happen? See, like in rotating motion, what is the acceleration of the ball? It is having tangential acceleration. What is A1? A1 is the tangential acceleration. So mg minus n1 is equal to mat. And what is the tangential acceleration? L by 3 alpha. I think already we discussed in earlier problems. It's having pure rotating motion. So then, so what is the tangential acceleration? mat is equal to tangential force equal to mg minus n1. What is the tangential force on the second ball? to mg minus n2. That is what we are exploring here. I think you have to be very careful when that particular rod is light. What type of motion it describe? Only translate, only rotate. I don't think so. In exam, if they ask you, you must go back to the basics here. No, not something like a very high-end application problem. The basics here. The rod is massless. So F equal to ma, m0. F should be 0. Then no linear acceleration. Then can it rotate? Yes, it must rotate. We know practically. It will rotate. So it will have only rotatory motion. Finish. Sure. Nothing has to be done here. Just testing your basic ideas, how you apply in various situations. Okay, I'll go for next one. Again, let's see that how very systematically you do make observation here. I'll magnify the diagram. Yeah. What is asking? Find the change in angular velocity of the movable pulley in a time interval delta t. And you see one more part of the question. What is telling? Pulleys and strings are ideal. The pulley, the threads, and the pulleys are ideal. What do you mean by that? In yesterday's problem, because of inertia, the net force was non-zero. There was a translative motion. And anyway, it will have rotative motion. Here, the net force 0, so therefore there is no translative motion. Finish on, nothing big. Write down this. See now, block of mass m naught m1 is there, and what about there are 3 pulleys are there? All those 3 pulleys are light. I think is asking find the change in angular velocity of the mobile pulley. Where is the mobile pulley? This is the mobile pulley. Yeah? So I think you should put effort here. He's asking its angular velocity. Why do it will have angular velocity? Yes, it will have. It is going to have. These are fixed pulleys. No, I'm not much bothered about this fixed pulley. Okay, there's no problem with this. Let's go for that mobile pulley here. So that I'll draw a little bit big so that we can analyze it. Huh? No, this is a thread. You have to draw a diagram by seeing not possible. By seeing not possible, you should draw a diagram, show the forces, how do they move. But by mere seeing not possible, especially mechanics problems. Maybe atomic structure, all atomic physics, okay. But especially mechanics, no. You should never take out your pen from the page. To that extent, the diagrams must be there. I think he has given diagram of this kind, so I'll retain the same thing. Okay, now you see this. This much is what we have here. And this is that movable pulley, no? It's asking its angular velocity. Okay, so what all we can do first, we'll do it. That's all, no? Now, what is this? This pulley is a light, no? So what will happen to the tension in either side? So I think we have to go back to our how to mobile. There's a light pulley. So first we'll go back to the some basics. Like if this is the pulley, I'll come back to the question. And now, if there's a pulley is there, we will just suspend. I'll say this pulley is having a mass m. Then, what will happen to the tension? Here, the tension will be T2. The tension here will be T1. Then, if M1 greater than M2, and I'll see that this will move down, this will move up. And because of tension acting, T1 will be greater than T2 and it will rotate. So T1R minus T2R should be equal to M R square by 2 alpha. This is similar to circular disk. So this is having a mass M. This is not a light pulley. Mass. It's having a mass M that I'm showing here and radius R. About what point the torque is set up? About O. If this pulley is massless, you look at here. If pulley is massless, if pulley is massless here, if this pulley is massless, then what will happen to the tension on either side of this pulley will be equal. I think that's what we did in laws of motion. No? Getting the picture now. So what is the strict condition here now? If the pulley is having a mass, the tensions will be different. Then again, one more thing, there will be a friction between the pulley and the rope. So what will happen is as the pulley rotates, what happens? This particular block will move up, and there won't be slipping between the string and the pulley. This is what happens here. So you look at this one. There's a pulley, no, and there won't be slipping between the and there'll be friction between the string and the pulley, and because of that, what happens? There won't be slipping. If the pulley is massless and there's no friction, then the pulley will not rotate, and it's a laws of motion problem. Agreed, all of you? If pulley is having a mass, suppose it's a pulley is having mass and there's no friction, tell me what will happen. The pulley will not rotate. Am I right? Because why pulley will rotate? Pulley will not rotate. Then if it's having a mass and there should be friction, then only what will happen? These conditions will come. If there's no friction, though pulley having a mass, then what conditions will arise here? Like this cannot rotate. There should be some sort of friction should be there. So that what happened, I think in most of the problems, they are taken for granted and you need to bother. Clear this? So I think the best thing is when pulley having a mass and it is naturally assumed that the tensions here will make it to rotate. You need to bother anything that one. Okay, I think that is what this conditions are being brought here. It's a massless. Then what makes it to rotate? Let's see that. The tension T. Now, why tension? Because as it is massless, and the same tension will act here. And because of tension, this is having acceleration A1, this is having acceleration A2. What about acceleration of this point? Acceleration of point P1 should be equal to A1. And how much of tension here? 2T. Let's write some equations, then we'll see what will end up. M1 A, then on the right block M2 A. Sorry, M1 A1 T equal to M2 A2. So why accelerations should be different? The same force is acting, but masses are different. So therefore M1 A1 plus M2 A2. Then for this block, M0 G minus T2 equal to M0 A0. I'll write it. Acceleration of this, let it be A0. What is A0? And acceleration of the block M2, acceleration of block M2 should be the acceleration of AP2. And AP1 should be equal to A1. So therefore, any relation between A0, AP1 and AP2. Go back to the pulley constraints. We did earlier some problems. So therefore here, A0 should be equal to AP1 plus AP2 by 2. So this should be equal to how much? A1 plus A2 by 2. The one very good equation what we handed up. Now can we solve A1? So let me put all the things. M0 G minus 2T is equal to A0, what I'll write it as M0 equal to A1 plus A2 by 2. Substituting A1 as T by M1. So M0 G minus 2T equal to M0 by 2. A1 is T by M1. Plus this will be M0 by 2. A2 is T by M2. Solving all this, we'll get expression for tension because T is only unknown thing, tension, that will get it. I calculated, so I'll end up with this one. You do check later on calculation. So this is a tension. After getting tension, we'll get A1 and we'll get A2. Okay, this is about all fine. Okay, like this we can work out. Such I think numericals are there even in most of the books. But how to get angular velocity? From where that angular velocity should be brought? After getting this tension, I'm going to substitute in these equations. I'll get the A1 and A2. Okay, now let's look at the pulley. What is the state of pulley here? It will be spinning. Why it is spinning? Because look at this acceleration. Acceleration of this end is A1, this end is A2, like this. So if you look at the pulley, so let's focus only on the pulley now. So this is the pulley is there. This point is having acceleration AP1. This point is having acceleration AP2 and it is rotating. Sir, how do you can say it will rotate? See, like if this is having acceleration here AP1, after that what happen? It should get acceleration AP2, no, here. The acceleration of this point should be AP2. Then what when the alpha, if it is like this, then the resultant acceleration will become AP2. And what about the midpoint? The midpoint is having how much? A0. Any equation can you write? AP1 should be equal to AP1 should be equal to A0 plus R alpha. R is the radius. Then what about acceleration of this point? AP2 should be equal to A naught minus alpha. The value of R alpha is such that R alpha will be greater than A naught. So this will be, sorry, like the A naught will be again greater than R alpha. So the resultant acceleration will be like this. So by the time this point of a string, when it moves from point P1 to P2, the acceleration changes. So the linear acceleration is varying. So therefore, it must have angular acceleration. If acceleration at this point and this point were same, then things would have been other way, that one. So how to, can we calculate the alpha? Yes, we know AP1. So what is AP1? AP, we know A1, A2, and we know A naught. So we'll get alpha. After getting alpha, so what is in fact alpha? You can write delta omega by delta t. Is asking in time delta t, no? 0.22 seconds. So here you'll get the required answer. A very clean observation is what you have to look at the pulley here. There's a light pulley. I'll write it very clearly. One problem is there in S.C. Verma where he has made this as a mass. This pulley, instead of light pulley, if it's having a mass, no, then what the tensions must be different. Same one problem that S.C. Verma do work out. Very important. Some power will bring in the rotation motion. So nothing big. So we know in the power equal to F into V, where force into linear velocity. Similarly, the rotational power should be torque into angular velocity. You can go back to any problem where the torque into angular velocity of the body should be the power. Again, the same set of numerical. Like if a constant torque, if the power acting on a body is a constant, or it varies with the time, then what is the angular velocity at any time? So what you are going to do in this problems here? So what is the power? Power torque into omega. Then what is the torque? Torque should be equal to I alpha. There it was ma, now I alpha. Then alpha, you can write it as d omega by dt omega d omega p naught by I t square dt. Then 0 to, if you're having any inequality, put that one. So omega square by 2 p naught t cube by 3I. So what is the angular velocity? Omega square equal to 2 p naught t cube by 3I. Like this, the angular velocity as a function of time will come. Instead, this, if power varies as a function of theta, not time, then how to calculate angular velocity? I think I'll put in separate diagram, just rotational power, no? So if not in, at least in mains or in advanced anyway, they may ask such simple questions. Let me just let me give that mathematical ideas. I'll put in separate page. Okay, now, so this is what power. Now the same thing, the power acting on a rigid body. If it is, now what is I? I is moment of inertia. The power acting on a rigid body, if it varies as a function of angular displacement, then what you're going to do again, tau omega p naught theta, this should be I alpha omega p naught theta. Alpha, what you can write, omega d omega by d theta omega P naught theta. So I omega square d omega P naught theta d theta. So angular velocity is 0 omega 0 theta. So this will be I omega square by 3 P naught theta square by 2 omega cube. Omega cube is equal to P naught 3 P naught by 2I theta square. So look at this. So if the power acting on a rigid body, if it varies with the time, how to calculate angular velocity at any time, this is a formula. If power acting is the function of theta, this is a formula. Same thing what we discussed in Workpanjit chapter. Any of the questions can be asked here. So it's just a math-based one, just analyze mathematically. So altogether, power equal to torque into omega under any situation. Torque is what? High alpha. Based on the conditions, you can write omega d omega by dt, or alpha is just d omega by dt. This I'll highlight it so that it will flash for you. Getting the picture, no? So any of the math-based questions can be asked here. Okay, let's pick up one. Some equations, power as a function of angular displacement and angular velocity will come, the maximum. And they'll ask you what is average power, you know how to calculate average power. Let's come to the next part. I'll finish off in the diagram only. There's an NP. The thread, if the free end of the thread is pulled horizontally with a constant velocity v, that v is missing. I'll show it. Find power delivered by the pulling agency. There is some action agent is there. So this action agent is what pulling this one. So as it pulls, what will happen here? As it pulls, what will happen? This particular drum, it is called like a drum, inner drum and drum of a two-step pulley. And the radius also given small r, capital R. And what are the various forces that will be acting here? The tension, T like this. The block will have velocity. Anybody, what is velocity of the block should be? V by 2. So how come V by 2? And this is going to have angular velocity omega. No, look at that one. I think unless you don't justify this particular word, no, not possible to really understand this question. Find the power delivered by the drum, that one. There and fix are coaxially fixed, preventing them to rotate independently. Preventing them to rotate independently. Will they rotate independently or will they not rotate? They will not rotate. So that's why the omega I'm showing for the total, that one. It is. Now, what is the velocity of the block? Should be V by 2. Then power by the external agent. Power by external agent here. So it's just writing only equation, one step it'll get over. P external generated by this should be equal to, here the tension acting on the inner drum, on the smaller drum, what will happen? It will set up a torque T into R, torque into omega. It will also generate positive. When you can say that power generated by a given torque positive, the torque and omega in same direction. You look at the T into R on the smaller drum clockwise, angular velocity possible way in which the drum can rotate clockwise. So therefore there will be positive. And extra agent, it's what that word is asking. This should be equal to. Then how much of tension will act here? As it moves with a constant speed, v it is moved. So here mg by 2, and here tension, let it be 2t. So 2t should be equal to mg by 2. So and the tension here does negative work, minus 2t into v equal to 0. Now what is 2t? 2t should be equal to mg by 2. Now what should be the value? 2t should be equal to mg, no? T shall I write mg by 4? Try to make observation.
Sir,
Oh, sorry. It's only 2tv. Yeah, no. What should be the t? T should be 2t should be equal to mg by 2. I'll write it. So external power is equal to mg by 2 r. What should be the omega? Can I write also v by r? What is v? V should be equal to r omega. Solving this, mgv, mgr, v by 2r. V by 2 velocity. I'll put once again. You can see that at the end of the rope is pulled with a constant speed. So therefore, the block will ascend with a velocity v by 2. That's one. So this is the thing. Then tension T and T. So 2T should be equal to mg. So T equal to mg by 2. This is the one thing. Then next again. So as I pull this and this will rotate. So this tension does positive work here. It will make it to spin this. It will make it to spin. Then what about this tension, sir? Here also a tension will act. Why you are not showing it? This tension and this tension will be equal and opposite, work done. This external force is what doing work here. This is unbalanced one. Please, you have to make observation. Nothing big is there. The work done by extra agent plus work done by the tension on this rotating system plus work done by the gravity. Only these things will come. What about the work done by tension? This tension on this at this point and this tension on this point will be equal and opposite. As this is a light, so net work done here will be 0 by these two. Okay, this will come into picture. So therefore I'm writing equations. So why this one positive? Because the torque is acting in the direction of angular velocity, no? So therefore you have to take it that to be positive. And now come for this one. What is here? This will have velocity v, no? So what is the angular velocity here? So we can also write it as, you look at this particular thing, r omega. Omega, what I'm writing it as? V by r at one place. Why velocity of the block v by 2? mg v by 2 can take it outside. 1 minus small r by capital R will come. I think there's no problem with the sign. The sign what we give, there's no problem with this. as it is moved with a constant speed. So constant speed, how torque will come. See, to maintain that constant speed, I should exert a force. I should exert a force, that one. So here X agent will exert a force. That was the power gen by X agent. Then here the tension does work on the shaft or this drum. Because why the drum will rotate? Because of that condition. Then here the gravity does negative work. Getting the conditions here. Okay, I think I have some more good questions are there. No, come for this. I'll just discuss the ideas. Some we have to finish off. Many other questions are there. Now get into the problem. So the center of mass of the cylinder will not shift. After some time, the cylinder will be there only. Only what when the thread will get unwound. It's a rough diagram. So the thread what will happen will get unwound. Is that okay now? Then strict condition T should be equal to mg. There's no other way. At the same time, it will set up a torque. It will set up a torque about the point O. So T into R is the cylinder m r square by 2 into alpha. So T is equal to mr alpha. And what is T? T equal to mg. So mg equal to mr alpha. So alpha is equal to g by r. Then, so in an interval of time, find the length of string unwound when the cylinder has reached an angular speed omega. It's having angular acceleration alpha. So what is omega? Omega should be equal to omega square should be equal to alpha to alpha theta. So what is alpha value? G by r. So in an angular displacement, so to acquire that angular speed, what when it will undergo angular displacement of theta. Can we calculate how much of length of the string that got unwound? The cylinder will rotate through an angle theta. When it rotates through an angle theta, how much it should get unwound? R theta. So what is theta is equal to omega square r by 2g. Simple problems, just you have to get into the basic fundamentals here. M r square by 2, no, here 2 is missing. 2, then here 2. Alpha will be 2g by r. Alpha will become now 4g by r. I think where all I should put. Check calculation once. Tension should be equal to mg. Then only what when the center of mass will not shift. Point O will be a test. You may encounter questions of these kind. Some hard, like a point O will be at rest. Simple idea-based problems. Okay, let's take the next one. Yeah, this is something again very fundamental. A disk of mass m and radius r. You read the question. Meanwhile, I'll draw the diagram. Please, all of you, carefully look at the things, because again some concept is involved here. Read the question. Meanwhile, I'll construct the diagram. Read the question, and I shown diagram like that in your notes. You draw one diagram, then check what are all forces that are acting. What are all forces that are acting? And now we applied a force F. The force F I'll show by arrow because this is the external force what we applied. What force we applied, that will be the tension. No? Go back to the laws of motion idea. No, that tension will act it. So is it no problem showing F like this, and the same F should act here. And now what can happen to the block? What will happen to the disk? Look at the disk. Is it free to move? Is it the disk free to move? Yes, it is free to move. No. No. Will you put same F or different F? I said earlier, please do make observation. What is the disk? Having a mass, no? Mass of the disk is M. A disk of mass M and radius R. Here it is having a mass. This is a block. Now, will you put same F on either side of the string because this is a string passing over it? No. Will you put FF there or some other value? It should be tension. There's a mistake what again students will do maximum. Huh? So therefore intentionally I'm showing that mistake what you're going to do here. The disk is having a mass, so therefore the tension on the either side of string must be different. And then because of force F and T is acting, how this will move? This will have acceleration A1 like this. Because of tension acting, how this block will move? It will move in this direction. Write all possible equation. Then we'll see what we can do. Is it okay, all of you? Assumption. And then F plus T should be equal to MA1. T should be equal to MA2. And there's a torque acting. F into R, T into R should be equal to, it's a disk MR square by 2 into alpha. There's also alpha is there. Any constraint equation? So what should be the acceleration of this point P? Because acceleration of point P should be equal to acceleration of block. Why anybody? Why? Inextensible, no? String is inextensible. So on horizontal part of string, these two ends must have same acceleration. What is the acceleration of point P? R alpha minus A1. There should be equal to A2. It's all about observation, no concept. I'm telling this one. This will have, if center mass is having acceleration, all points will have acceleration. Sir, is it like that? Will you show what is the acceleration of this point? A1. Then it will have R alpha 1 like this, R alpha. I think I'll write R alpha 1. No. So what about acceleration of this point? What's the acceleration of Q? What is the acceleration of Q? Should be equal to A1 plus R alpha 1. Like that, you can find out acceleration of any point, and what it should be the vector sum of acceleration of translative motion, acceleration due to rotative motion. So this is a constraint equation. R alpha 1 minus A1 should be equal to A2. I think here is what the students, what are the mistakes you do? Putting same F in both the strings. No, there's a mass. If massless, okay, there's having a mass. So there should be tension here. Then again, that constraint equation. Where all string comes, if the string is connected between the disk and blocks, Whenever a string is connected between two rigid bodies, you should take help of the string to get the relation between acceleration. This idea, which you have to carry on in most of the numericals. Okay, rest all finish order. Once you are able to do this, you can manage other thing. He's asking acceleration of the block. I'll write the answer. You check it later on. So only I think the diagram showing all the things. Rest all you can write mathematics. So what students are doing is they are focusing more on this without assuming these things properly. Definitely, these are all anybody can write these equations. Not a fun. You must focus on what actually going on. How do they move? Once you know, once you show acceleration, all everything, no, then writing equations are very fundamental. This you know it. So please do put effort in a systematic way. So students are fighting with these things. This will come naturally when this diagram is correct. Please follow the method, systematic method. Okay, now similarly one more. See, all these are small ideas. I think, yeah, this one. Because in books development, we just focused on pulley fixed all. So I'm just bringing a sketch of where the pulley is also mobile. A light thread has been tightly wrapped around a disc of mass and radius r. The disc has been placed on a smooth table lying flat as shown. This is a disc. I think the similar idea just now what I discussed. And this is a block. I'm giving some rough diagram. Getting into the fundamental diagram like so. Here first the block is there. Small m. This having radius r. This is a table. Okay, what are the various forces that are acting? The first, the moment you release the tension mg, and this will have acceleration a1. Then the same tension will act here. As this is light pulley, so the tensions must be same. So here the tension will act here. This tension, what it do? It will make this center of mass to accelerate, and at the same time it will also set up a torque. Alpha naught, a naught. I'll write it. So what are the basic equations? T is equal to ma naught. Mg minus T is equal to ma1. T into R is equal to I naught alpha naught. What is I naught? I naught is m r square by 2 alpha naught. I think you can easily solve the next all the equations. How many unknowns are there? Let's count unknowns. A1, A naught, T and alpha naught. And what are the equations? 1, equation 2, then equation 3. We need one more, no? Tell me from where the one more I should bring. Where the one more other one I should bring. I'll go for string. Acceleration of this point. Acceleration of point P should be equal to acceleration of the block. So what is the acceleration of point P? I'll give plain diagram. At least try to, this is A naught, this is alpha naught, and this is a point P. Straight away, you have to get into the main part of the problem. What is the acceleration of point P? A naught plus R alpha naught, and that should be equal to, so here AP should be equal to A1, and AP is what? A naught plus R alpha naught. Solving this will get the required answer. Very small idea-based problems. If you look at the Singh and S. Verma, they didn't they focused on other set of problems. In exams, you may get like this. Usually, we have a problem where this will be fixed. That this will be fixed here, as we can manage. Even the disk is moving, no. So that string constraint equation due to string will come into picture. So what is the core idea involved here? Whenever a string is connected between two rigid objects, then we must take help of that string also to eliminate few unknowns. So from where I brought this, string is inextensible. Now you may end up questions of questions like this here. Read the question. The rod is there in vertical position. I'll with what angular speed will the rod hit the wall? Neglect gravity. I think this is also very important. Don't bring mg into picture. I think this you can do, no? You just take pen, hold at one end, and other end you apply force. And that force, how it should be? It should always act along positive x-axis. Then with what angular speed will the rod hit the wall? What is the displacement of center of mass? R by 2. So F into R by 2 should be equal to, finally, there's a rod, no? No, let's take this one. There's a rod. And finally, it will hit the let's focus only on the center of mass and apply a force F like this. And even when it is in this position, how the force F will be acting horizontally. And the center of mass will descend, no? Look at the trajectory of center of mass. This will be the trajectory of center of mass here. Yeah, fine. Now, so this is the trajectory of center of mass. Just make some observation, it'll be easy for you. Then what is the displacement it will undergo? The point of application of force, R by 2. So go back to the work done. F into R by 2 should be equal to moment of inertia, IO omega square by 2. What is IO? ml square by 3. Simplest way you can conclude the problem, you know. At what angle theta the hinge force will make a angle 45 degree with the rod. You take some arbitrary position here, somewhere when it is having angular velocity, say this is final angular velocity, you write it. When having some angular velocity omega, there the hinge forces, how do they act? You assume possible hinge forces. Now what direction the hinge forces we have to show it. Second part of the problem, I'm coming to the second part of the problem. How to take the hinge forces. Any direction, the hinge forces. No, you do one thing, just proceed like this here. So there's a 1 hinge force, so call F1. The other hinge force, F parallel, this you call F perpendicular. As it is having angular velocity, So there's centripetal force, centrifugal force will be acting. The centrifugal force will balance F parallel. Then F perpendicular, how F perpendicular? You can't just, because it is force is acting, torque is there, it will have angular acceleration also. It will have tangential acceleration. Then what you should do here, you should resolve again A normal. So like a tangential acceleration will come, and here A normal will come. Write on all the equations. Earlier, I think we have discussed one of the problem. At what angle theta, the hinge force will make an angle 45 degree with the rod. So the resultant of that should act, this one, will make angle 45 degree with the rod. The resultant of that should make 45 degrees. Can you work out? I think F parallel, how you should calculate? Component of F also will come. This F also will come. And F parallel. Then you know omega at any position, at any angle. Theta, calculate omega, and what is alpha, also calculate the torque. Then you know A tangential. So then you should resolve all. Please do work out. We've done many problems on this hinge one. No? I'll give the answer. So you verify it. Tan theta 1/10. Okay, I'll stop it here. I have another class.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you all of you. Some questions are there. I'll leave them. If you want, you can try them. Okay, thank you all of you.
Thank you, sir.
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 Okay, thank you all of you. Take care. Bye. See you. Huh?